your seat. This is a committee of parliament founded in our standing orders. You sign the oath first. Sign. Thank you, Mr. Owalo. This is a committee of parliament, National Assembly, so to speak, chaired by the Speaker, yours truly, and members who will introduce themselves. It's a committee whose responsibility under the Constitution, the law, and standing orders is to interrogate you, to engage you, have a conversation with you, to establish your suitability to occupy the office for which His Excellency the President has nominated you. In so doing, we are going to have an engagement, and I'll tell you how we'll engage after these introductions so that we can move a little faster in the interest of time, because all these processes are time-bound. I'll ask the Deputy Speaker to introduce herself.
My name is Gladys Boss, member for Uasin Gishu County and Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, Karibu.
My name is Opio Wandai, MP Uguja.
My name is Owen Baya, MP Kilifi North.
I'm Robert Boy, MP Kadiani.
Rehab Mukami, County MP Nyeri.
I'm Ferdinand Kevin Wanyonyi, Member of Parliament, Kwanza, Trans Nzoia County.
George Gitonga Murugara, MP Baraka, Baraka Nithi County.
Honorable Mishi Mboko, MP Likoni.
Nelson Arap Koech, MP Belgood.
Caleb Amisi, MP Saboti.
Didoraso, MP Saku.
Abdishiri, MP Balabala.
Masemeri, MP Teso
Stephen Mule, MP Matungulu.
Kikaria David, Nakuru Town East.
Naisula Lesuda, MP Samburu West.
We also have the Secretariat, led by the Clerk of the House.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Sitting in for the Acting Clerk of the National Assembly, I'm Florence Adenia Boni, Director, Audit, Appropriations and other select committees. Accompanying me is Mr. Michael Karuru to the left, who is the Deputy Director, Legal Services, and behind him is a team of officers in the Committee Secretariat.
Good. Mr. Owalo, once again, welcome. We'll have an engagement here right after. We will have 90 minutes within which to engage you. Within that period, members will ask you questions through the chair. You will avail answers through the chair. Clear, precise, concise answers from the questions asked. Avoid any altercations with any member. Avoid raising your temper even if you are stressed to do so. We want to have a civil engagement.
Thank you, Chair.
Before we start, we'll ask you about some documentations, and once you finish that, you will be given 10 minutes to tell us the journey of your life. Please avoid being scattered and be focused, and tell us what is helpful to the committee. We're inquiring in your suitability to hold the office as a Cabinet Secretary for Information, Communication, and the Digital Economy. So we are unlikely to ask you to tell us how many fish there are in Lake Victoria. And don't volunteer that.
I stand guided, Chair.
Yes. Once we give you time to tell us your journey through life for 10 minutes, then we'll open the floor. So once we go through the documentation, I'll give you just 10 minutes. If you take less, the better. To tell us who is Eliud Owalo, where were you born, where do you come from, how have you walked through your life, and how did you end up where you're sitting. Simple things, but important things that will determine what your future holds. I'll ask you for some documentation. Number one, do you have the tax compliance certificate?
Yes, Chair, I do.
You've forwarded most of them already.
Yes, I did. But I've come with copies of the same.
The Office of the Clerk will want to compare the originals that you have with what you sent to them so that they can be satisfied with the authenticity. You have your clearance with the Higher Education Loans Board.
Yes, Chair.
Do you have your clearance with Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission?
Yes, please.
Do you have a clearance from DCI,
Yes,
commonly
please.
called the Certificate of Good Conduct?
Yes, please.
Have you ever been charged and convicted of an offense in a court of law?
No.
Have you ever been adversely mentioned in any investigatory report of a parliamentary committee or commission?
Not at all.
Are you a dual citizen of Kenya and any other sovereign?
Just Kenyan.
Yes, Kenyan. You have your identity card.
Yes, please.
You will present the original to the clerk. At a personal level, what is your financial net worth?
645 million, Chairman.
645 million. How is it made up?
Well, my Nairobi house has got a value of 120 million shillings. Upcountry, my residential house upcountry, Mr. Chairman, is worth 70 million. I own land upcountry worth 200 million. 4 cars worth about 15 million. A hotel facility, not fully complete, but 80 million as at now. Though based on the bill of quantities on completion, it's worth 293 million. I've ventured heavily into commercial tree planting. And as of now, I estimate that the value proposition of that is 160 million, Chairman. This comes to a sum total of 645 million.
Excellent. Now I'll give you your 10 minutes to tell us the journey of your life.
Thank you very much, Chairman. I'm happy to be here. My name is Eliud Owalo. I was born on 27th February the year 1967 in Asembo. Asembo is in Rarieda district of Siaya County. I went to local Oboch Primary School before proceeding to Maseno National School for my O-levels, and then subsequently to St. Mary's School Yala for my A-levels. I then joined Kenyatta University, Mr. Chairman, to pursue my Bachelor of Arts degree in Economics and Business Studies, which I successfully completed, graduating with a second-class honors degree in Economics and Business Studies, Mr. Chairman. I also hold a master's, an MBA degree from the University of Nairobi with a specialization in human resource management. As we speak, I'm at the tail end of my PhD program at the University of Nairobi, pursuing a PhD in strategic management. I'm done with the coursework. I'm now progressing to the level of the thesis, Mr. Chairman. Professionally, I'm based on my 22 years of experience in consultancy within the HR regime. I'm a fellow of the Institute of Human Resource Management, Mr. Chairman. My professional background is, and I'm an economist by profession, a human resource management expert, and I'm also a strategy expert. So I've been practicing since the year 2001 as an economist, management consultant, and strategy expert, Mr. Chairman. My areas of core competency of specialization, Mr. Chairman, are micro and macroeconomic analysis, strategic planning, organizational restructuring, job evaluation, and management of strategic change, over and above facilitation of various management development programs in the areas such as leadership, performance management, management of change, and so on and so forth, Mr. Chairman. I've been practicing as the managing consultant of Eliud and Associates since inception on 6 February 2001. Specifically, Mr. Chairman, with respect to strategic planning, which is my main forte, I've had the honor and privilege of going through an extensive existential experience of having been the consultant for development of most of the strategic plans in this country in the public sector. With respect to ministerial strategic plans, in the year 2008, I was the consultant for development of the strategic plan for Ministry of Justice, which was voted the best strategic plan at that point in time among the ministerial strategic plans, Mr. Chairman. Among ministries, I've had the honor of being the consultant for strategic plan for Ministry of Lands, Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Labor twice, Ministry of Heritage, Ministry of Cooperative Development, Ministry of Provincial Administration, and Interior and Provincial Administration, Mr. Chairman. Within parastatals, I've been privileged to have been the consultant for the development of strategic plan and business plan for the Kenya Ports Authority, Kenya Airports Authority in the year 2010, Kenya National Highways Authority twice in the year 2013 and in 2017, the current strategic plan, Mr. Chairman, for the Kenya School of Government, the first strategic plan for KETRACO, that is Kenya Electricity Transmission Company, the first strategic plan for Competition Authority, the first strategic plan for Kenya Trade Network Agency, the first strategic plan for...
In the interest of time, that will do. Go on to other areas.
Okay. So, one thing I want to mention with respect to my professional experience is that in the course of development of these strategic plans, Mr. Chairman, and just for purposes of record, there are over 50 which have developed in the recent past in the public sector. I've also had the opportunity of aligning these strategic plans to relevant policy documents. Because organizations don't operate in a vacuum, Mr. Chairman, but do so within a framework of macro level and even regional and international level policy framework. I've had the existential experience of developing and aligning these strategic plans, not just locally to the Kenya Vision 2030 and its successive medium-term plans, but also regionally to the East Africa Community Vision 2050, the Africa Union's Agenda 2063, and globally to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So from a policy perspective, Mr. Chairman, based on the mandate that I'm expected to execute, if this committee certifies my nomination, and of course by extension the full House of Parliament, I stand in good stead from a policy perspective to execute that mandate, Mr. Chairman. I also want to mention that specifically with respect to strategic planning, I've had the honor and privilege of having been the consultant for development of the strategic plan for Competition Authority of Kenya, Mr. Chairman. Why am I mentioning this? I'm mentioning this because I'm expected to execute a CS mandate in an industry which has got few players. This industry, Mr. Chairman, needs to be guided by prudent competition laws, and in this respect, the wealth of experience I gained while developing the strategic plan for the Competition Authority will stand me in good stead as I provide leadership in an industry which is largely characterized by monopolistic, duopolistic, oligopolistic, and perhaps monopolistic tendencies, Mr. Chairman. I'm talking about an industry, Mr. Chairman, with few players, either 1, 2, 3, or with few players but differentiated products. That's what I've said in short. Also, Mr. Chairman, I've been the consultant for development of strategic plan for Kentrade, and this prepares me adequately to discern how to use e-commerce in the conduct of business, which is also integral in the ICT sector. That has prepared me adequately. Also, have been the consultant about 10 years ago for development of strategic plan for the Africa Telecommunications Research Institute, that is AFRALTI. This is a training institution for that industry, and I've gotten a wealth of experience in discerning the operational environment within which telecommunications sector operates, Mr. Chairman. Apart from that, Mr. Chairman, I've had existential experience of serving as a council member of the Kenya School of Government, and my experience in that space also prepares me adequately to understand the operations of the public sector. So, in short, Mr. Chairman, the wealth of existential experience spanning over 22 years which I've gained in the public sector prepares me adequately to understand, comprehend the operational environment within the public sector operates, the policy frameworks that guide or govern that sector, and emerging issues in the operational environment that we need to align to moving forward, Mr. Chairman.